Good afternoon and welcome to City of Marque City Council Special Agenda of December 19th, 2022. Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Marque, Texas will conduct a special meeting on December 19th, 2022, beginning at 4 p.m. at Council Chambers at 1109 B Bayou Road, Lamarck, Texas, as well as via video conference hosted through Zoom. In accordance with section 551.127B of the Texas Local Government Code, the presiding officer and the quorum of the city of the Lamarque City Council intend to be and will physically be present at 1109 B Bayou Road, Lamarck, Texas. This location will be open to the public, and the meeting will be broadcast at this location on Channel 16 and via YouTube. The council will meet for the purpose of considering the following agenda. The meeting has been called to order. Kiara, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember District A.
President.
Councilmember District B.
Present.
Councilmember District C is not with us today, and Councilmember District D in your location.
Yes, my location is 4101 Main Street, Lamarck, Texas, 77568.
Thank you, and Mayor.
Present. Thank you. Let's do our invocation and pledge. I'll do the invocation. Mayor Pro Tem, would you do this, and I'll pledge?
Yes, sir.
Let's pray. Most holy God, we thank you for this day and for your presence in our lives, and certainly for this great city that we call home. Lord, open our hearts, our minds, our understanding, that our deliberations might be for the betterment of every person in our city. Lord, we ask it in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4, citizens participation limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments from the public will be heard at this time. Any person with city-related business who has signed up may speak to council, limited to 3 minutes. If wishing to speak, give the mayor or the presiding officer your full name, address, and the item you wish to speak about. Compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the city may not deliberate on comments. Personal attacks will not be allowed, and personnel matters should be addressed to the city manager during normal business hours. Press star six, to mute or unmute yourself if you are participating by telephone. Press the microphone icon in the lower portion of your screen if you are attending via the Zoom platform on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. If you're attending in person, you may approach the podium to your right and my left. Give your name, address, and you will be heard. Kyle, are there any persons online wishing to speak?
No.
Moving to the audience, are there any persons in the audience today wishing to speak? No one has signed up, and no one has indicated they're wishing to speak, so we'll move to item 5, resolutions. Unless otherwise specified, the city manager is authorized to execute all necessary documents upon final approval by the city attorney. 5.1, resolution number letter R-2022-0109, authorizing the submission of an application to the Texas General Land Office for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Regional Method of Distribution Program, and authorizing the mayor and the city or the city manager to act as the city's executive officer and authorize representatives in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program. Caesar.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item that we've been monitoring for a while. It's come through our HCAC with the allocation that the city decided to accept. We've had community meetings, and the result of those meetings are this presentation that you have before you. It's approving for us to proceed with this application, as was noted for areas 7 and as much as 6 as possible for repairs of the 2-inch water lines, or replacement, of the 2-inch water lines. If nothing further, any other questions?
Any other questions for Mr. Garcia? Let the record reflect the resolution calls for authorizing the mayor and or city manager. I don't care to be authorized to do anything with anybody's money. So I would say, council, I would love for our intent to be and authorizing the city manager to act as the city's chief executive officer, in which he is by charter anyway, and authorize representatives. Council have any objection to that understanding? Gus, is that a legal understanding?
I mean, that's legal per the charter. Some of these state grants just like to have an elected official's name on them as well.
Cool. Long as we are in understanding what that means, in this open session, I'm good.
Yeah, it's the state requirements.
Got you. Got you. Any other questions or discussions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6, appointments. Ms. Nance, you wanted to update us on appointments?
Yeah.
Pick one.
That whole stack is one person.
Oh, okay.
And this is just an updated version of your board and appointments list. I apologize, I was trying to get these to you a little sooner, but you guys moved very fast.
What are the dark? I'm noticing some of these names have, it looks like there are darker blocks.
Yes, so the ones that are in the darker blocks are the ones that are up for current reappointment.
Reappointment, okay.
So for District A appointments, I know that I appointed Valerie Allen
Yes.
to
the
Parks.
Board.
Mhm.
And then you also reappointed Ms. Tanya Griffin in your spot from she's now District A appointment as opposed to a mayor appointment. So that left a vacancy for Mayor Bell. And I apologize that the Parks Board hadn't been adjusted.
Okay.
Sure, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Under our current commission and board ordinance,
Mhm.
when the term is up, they've got to resubmit if they want to continue serving.
Yes, they do have to submit a new application.
And my question to you is that my responsibility for members in my district to alert them, or
So
Or
what
do you alert
we
them?
did was staff based off the current ordinance, it's my office. So what I did, I as well as the board liaisons reached out to everyone who had appointments that were expiring and reached out to them and asked them to submit new applications before. Actually, we asked them to do it prior to, I believe, December 1st. So that we could have them
and
reappointed.
so do we have an update of those that did submit their new applications?
So there's a sheet that says applications on file. I haven't received anything outside of if anything came in to obviously last night or today. But this is what we have on file currently.
Okay, so someone that's an appointment, say in District B, that is not returned, then that's an open spot now for 2023. Would that be accurate?
Yes. So honestly, even if they're on the list and you choose to appoint someone new, you have that ability. Just historically.
And I know the last time too, we talked about it would be helpful because I know when we passed that ordinance, I think we said, is it 2 unexcused? I know we had
I thought it was 3.
I believe it's
3 unexcused, but then we also put a limit on the amount of excused too, didn't we? Wasn't there 5 then?
I would need a few moments to pull up the ordinance, but I can get you an
Yeah.
answer to that.
Because just thinking about that, it wouldn't be, make sense someone to be excused all the time, then, right?
Right.
Conceivably.
And do we have, I don't want to overload you all with questions, so I'll ask Gus while you're looking. Gus, we also are looking at, do we have an attendance record?
Yeah, that would do.
That's probably what Joe's gonna ask.
So we do have attendance records for some of our boards. I believe we have one for planning and zoning, Board of Adjustments. Those are the 2 that I'm seeing right now that came from Development Services. There are a few that we don't have them.
So what I would say was, and I know we talked about this, we need to have a volunteer board orientation every year, in January.
Yes, sir.
So that when they elect their chairpersons and their secretaries, after they do that, in that January meeting, well, they need to have specialized training, but we also need to have board training for all of our boards yearly.
Yes, sir. So the intention to start obviously this upcoming year, so next month will be that third week in January. So that will be after your council meeting. So technically that would give you guys one more meeting if you wanted to
Cool.
have
Okay.
anything left, any left hangover, I guess, appointments. That third week in January, we would be doing our board member orientation. And so it would be for all chairs, vice chairs, all officers of the boards, as well as any newly appointed or reappointed members to come in. So that would ask them to have them do the training at least once every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's important. I also think in the future, for those board members, and this is something the council can discuss, but for those board members that are seeking to be reappointed, it might be helpful for us to understand what they have done that year, right? Outside of attending meetings, have they participated in a different programming? Also, perhaps it might be beneficial, since they would have been on the board, if they would be able to help us to understand what they believe, in their opinion, needs to happen.
So
Does that make sense?
yeah, just for my clarification, ultimately what we're looking for is to have like an appointment application, but also kind of like a separate process for reappointments, just going a little bit more in depth.
I'm saying that's something as we plan and organize it, that's something that I just don't want the council to lose sight of. Maybe the council wants something like that. Maybe they don't, when you
I
start
would
thinking
like
about.
to know what the board's accomplished.
Yeah.
While that person was during their tenure,
Yeah.
Okay.
just so.
And maybe some thought about what they think needs to happen in the future,
Mhm.
right? Just again, so that we can have that level of understanding and information.
Accountability.
I just want to clarify, that's not something we're asking Kiera to put together, is it?
No, ma'am, what I'm suggesting is as we plan this in the future and as we get more organized, Casey, let's not lose sight of perhaps this might be one of the things that council wants to look at.
Right.
Nothing more, nothing less at this point.
No,
Yeah.
it's basically a form that they would fill out at the end to be reappointed. Because it's every 2 years, right? It's every year.
Right, no, I just was trying to make sure whether that was information you wanted a potential appointee to put together or asking Kiera to put together. That's all I was trying to.
No, the
Cool.
person that's actually served in that role, like when I was on Keep Lamar Beautiful for 4 years, it would have been nice, somebody asked, what did you accomplish during your tenure this year?
Mhm.
What did y'all do?
Got it.
And that helps to build a level of accountability because you're going to be asked.
And that might be just an extra question on the application for those that are seeking to be reappointed. What did your board accomplish this year?
So I'm looking at this for District A. So Mr. Jefferson did resign as chair for Builders and Standards. So I would need someone for that position and the alternate as well for Builders and Standards for District A.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I believe he resigned after their last meeting.
Yeah, he did. I think he's going to another board.
He's looking, I believe, seeking appointment to
Board of
Board of
Adjustment.
Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mayor, a
Yes, sir.
question for clarity.
Mhm.
So anybody, our district lines change on the first, right?
Mhm.
So for purposes of these appointments, are we going to then, as we look for individuals, limit ourselves to our own district or
I don't think that,
do
no,
we go by this list of
I
individuals?
would say that it'd be my advice that, we select the best and the most qualified and best person for each, regardless of district. Now, if you have people in our districts that, would, meet those needs, obviously, but if it's not even close, I would say that the best person for the role would be most important.
So let me ask you then, Kira, then for the new year, you're going to have to update these names, this sheet based upon the new district
No, so
lines or how?
historically you have It's just that appointed by is just which council
Oh, which
seat appointed the
person? It's not
person.
limited.
They're
Okay.
not,
That's-
yes, no, it's like historically, we haven't limited it to.
All right, all right.
And-
I've been thinking differently than. I'm
Yeah, no,
sorry.
and the history behind that was, and I think, James, we were on the council together. The history behind that was the idea that we wanted every council person, the new council people as well as the senior council people, to have a chance to appoint people to boards. So that's why we divided it into districts. So that each district, regardless of your seniority or your influence on
Mhm.
council, each district has a chance to have representation.
Okay. But it's not, I'm not seeking,
It's not limited to your
To
district.
the district.
It's
See, I
right.
was-
It is the council representative
Okay.
that has the opportunity, right? There
I'm
you go.
sorry. All right. Thanks for clarifying.
Mhm. Any other questions about item 6? Sounds like we have a little more time, Kiara, to make the appointments.
Yes, since the orientation won't be until that third week, you all do have one more council meeting
Good.
before we would need to
Right.
have them all come in.
Very good, thank you. Item 7, new business, 7.1. Items presented to the council for discussion and possible action. 7.1, TCAP ballot discussion regarding nominations for the 2023-2024 TCAP board. Caesar?
Thank you, Mayor. This group is a consortium that helps us through our energy challenges that we may be facing throughout the year. We met with them during the TML conference, and they asked us to see if there's anybody that would be interested from our council to serve on as part of their board of directors. And one of you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Joe Compion, has thrown his name in the hat, and this was a way of notifying the fact that since we as a city being members have we can submit at least one ballot. This was that opportunity to bring that forward to make sure that everybody was on the same page as far as that opportunity based on something we brought back from TML.
And for the public, so that we know what TCAP means, that's the Texas Co-op.
Coalition.
Coalition.
It's the coalition.
Affordable power.
Yeah, Texas Coalition for Affordable Power.
So these folks help us to negotiate our utility rates.
That would be correct.
Okay. And what they're asking us is if we have any persons interested in serving on their board.
Certainly.
And you're saying, I'm sorry, Gary, go ahead, help us.
Oh, sorry, just for clarification. So that was the initial conversation to which Mayor Pro Tem did apply. This item is us voting for who we want to represent us on that board. So it's actually us submitting a ballot in support of the nominee that we would like.
And Mayor Pro Tem, you've expressed interest in this board?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
gotcha. Okay. Sounds like, go ahead.
So
Joe.
to be clear, it's just not one. We're gonna have to select eight names on here, right? That's what I
Up
was
to.
reading the instruction.
Up to,
Or up to?
Would
correct.
that dilute us if we selected all 8?
Well, the problem is there's, I believe, 12 candidates on here, so you'd have to limit to which 8 you wanted. And you have up to 12, should you want to do that.
I guess what I'm asking is, we can choose 8 or we can choose 1.
Correct.
Is there any difference in the dilution of our vote? Thank you there. What do you say, Gus?
Oh, it looks like you're supposed to vote for 8 vote for 8. It does not appear that you have 8 votes that you could choose to cast for one person.
Okay, all right. All right. Let's see, council, we have to choose 8 persons from this 12-person list. Does council have those names in front of them? How do you want to do it, Kara?
They are a part of the packet. I don't know if you don't have it in front of you, Kyle, is there any way we could pull it up so they can see it?
I just see it here. but
I
it's
can see
fine.
it.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay, Gus,
Yes.
we will, looks like we're gonna have to take nominations, right?
Yes, y'all could do it as a motion and say a motion to cast vote for this person, a motion, and do it all as one motion, or do it as 8 separate motions. It's up.
Let's do it all, one motion. And let council, let's all share in this. Let's all pick one. I don't know any of these folks, unfortunately, but one. And so we will open nominations. I will make the first nomination of Mr. Joe Compion. Let's go by seniority. Casey, do you have a nomination? I'm sorry, we're putting each other on the spot for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty antithetical to vote for people. I have no idea who they are.
I know. I have no idea. I'm with you in that frustration. I only know one, so
Right.
I'm nominating one.
Do we have to vote for 8?
No, and if I may on that, it's up to that many was the understanding that we were given, so.
Well, then, I mean, I don't want us, without having all details, and I certainly don't want to put us in a compromising position or make anything weird with HGAC, but I'm not going to vote for people I don't know, and I wonder if can we simply just vote for Joe?
Gus?
That, I don't see any issue with that. Yeah, the council, each entity within the Texas Coalition for Affordable Power may submit a ballot with you vote for 8. All it says is if you vote for more than 8, they'll reject it.
Gotcha.
So
Sounds like we want to just vote for one, guys. So I made that nomination. Does
I second that.
Okay. Kim, do you have any other nominations?
No, that's it.
Joe?
No, sir.
Well, the nomination of Joe Compion has been made and seconded. I will entertain a motion to approve. I'll entertain a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are now at item 8, items for the good of the order. Additional items to bring awareness to council on the community as well as future agenda items requests are accepted at this time. Let's let Casey go first. I know that she said that she's time limited. So Casey, go ahead.
I'm good. Nothing here.
Casey?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Did you have anything that you want on the next agenda?
I don't.
Okay.
Not today.
All right. Kim.
I'm good at this time. Merry Christmas.
Okay. Joe?
I just want to wish everybody a safe and warm Christmas. In the event that we face power outages again, I know on the part of the Red Cross, we'll be working with municipalities to open up warming centers. So please pay attention to the news. And hopefully we'll get through this cold spell as well. And thank you for the support for the appointment to the power board, as we're speaking of power,
The power board.
affordable power as well too.
All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you so very much. I have to run and go pick up my daughter.
All right, thanks.
Happy holidays, Casey.
Happy Merry Christmas. That's all, sir.
Thank you. Again, we've come to the end of a year. We have made a lot of progress in our city. And there are a lot of exciting things to look forward to in the new year in 2023. Not the least of which is the major renovation of our wastewater treatment plant. The transformation of, I believe it's at one point it was 21 lift stations based on how much money costs these days. It might be a few less than that. As well as major replacement of major sewer lines in our city. And that's just one area of improvement. There are several areas of improvement. We won't belabor the point tonight because we are in the holiday season, but we have a lot to look forward to in the coming year. Other than that, I would say have a safe and happy holiday to each and every one of you. Remember to wrap your pipes this weekend. Stay off of the roads, no matter how safe you are told they are, and enjoy one another as family members. Caesar.
No, sir, Mayor, just for all those out there, just please be cautious. As Mayor stated, we will continue to communicate on any emergency situations. As we receive them, we've already started putting information out to make sure that folks are remembering to drain their lines, to wrap their pipes, even up to opening their cupboards. We're just going to be ready for whatever capacity we need to be, and we'll continue to share that information with all of our residents.
Very good. Anything further? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Happy holidays.